Today, we are going to be learning about positive space and negative space in art. And you will be creating your own positive and negative space artwork. Now, usually when we hear the words positive and negative, we think about positive being good and negative being bad. But when it comes to creating art, the words positive and negative have completely different meanings. The positive space in your artwork is usually what's the main subject of your artwork. That's what the positive space is, as illustrated by this stool. The negative space is the background or the space around your subject. Typically, our eyes are drawn to the positive space first. In this well-known self-portrait by Frida Kahlo, Frida herself takes up the positive space. And the monkey, the cat, the foliage, it's a fancy word for leaves, with all of that beautiful, rich texture, takes up the negative space of this artwork. While we tend to focus on the main subject of our artwork, it is equally valuable to put some thought into what's going to take up the negative space or the background of your art. Here's another example of a famous painting without the negative space filled in, and now with the negative space filled in. Oh man, can you see that difference? And here's another simple illustration of positive and negative space. Oh, this one's awesome. Now, do you see two faces or do you see a vase? If you're seeing a vase, you're seeing the white area of this artwork as the positive space. If you're seeing faces, you're seeing the black areas as the positive space and the white area as the background or the negative space. There are many, many talented artists who like to be creative with positive and negative space and use them to create optical illusions. Artists such as M.C. Escher. He is famous for his tessellation drawings like this one, which have positive and negative spaces that just seem to flow into one another. Tang Yao Hoon is a talented Malaysian artist who is known for playing with the positive and negative spaces within his own artwork. And here are a few other examples of modern-day art that mix and incorporate positive and negative space. Very cool to look at. Now, for this project, you're going to need 2 sheets of paper, and they should be different colors. I'm going to use black and white. If you don't have 2 sheets of paper that are different colors, that is okay. I don't want you to worry about it. Just use 2 white sheets of paper. You can use any other color. You don't have to use black. You can use any color that you want to use, but I'm just going to use black. So with your colored sheet of paper, I want you to have your paper aligned landscape so that the longest sides are on the top and the bottom. If your paper is facing this way, that's incorrect. Please make sure your paper is landscape. And now what I want you to do is I want you to take these 2 corners and fold it in half, just like this. Once it's folded in half, I want you to make a nice crease. Notice I put my finger under there to kind of hold it in place, and then I use my thumb to make a crease. All right, open your paper back up, and now you can see that you've made a line for yourself. What you're going to want to do is cut right along that line. So grab your scissors, okay? And I want you to cut right along this line. Okay, now it's time to get out a white crayon. For this project, especially if you're using black paper, white crayons work best. And on this, we can draw a butterfly. So for a butterfly, I'm going to draw a bump for the butterfly's head, a long diagonal loop for the top wing, stop. I'm not going all the way to the corner. And then a long one for the bottom wing, curve around, come back all the way to the edge. And take out your scissors, and then I want you to cut out along this shape. And now what you're going to have is you're going to have this butterfly shape that matches this. So you've got your positive space and your negative space. Now take out your white sheet of paper. And your white sheet of paper should also be landscape. And if you remember from before, that just means that the paper is the widest on the top and on the bottom. If you have your paper this way, again, not correct. So make sure it's facing that way. Now it's time to grab out a glue stick. I've got mine right here. Take off your cap, and it's already up. Glue sticks always come and they're always up a little bit, and that's plenty. We don't need to really even touch it. So I'm gonna put it aside. What we do is we want to take the pieces that we used before and we want to glue them down. Okay, just like that. So I'm gonna start with this one and I'm gonna glue it down. Okay. Now, if you notice, I'm actually going to glue down. I'm going to put glue on the side of my paper that has the crayon on it. So if you see crayon markings, that's the side you want to glue on. So I'm going to take out my glue. And I'm going to do a real good job covering up that back side of my black paper with glue. Then I'm going to place it on top of my white paper, but I'm going to check for the corners and do the very best job I can to make sure that the corners fit nice and snug. And we're going to place it right here on top of the negative space. Okay, now we're going to just let that dry there. Now, if you've gotten this far, I do want to let you know that, we're not always perfect. If you look at the top, you can see that I've got this thin strip that's still sticking out. Sometimes that happens, and when that happens, it's okay. If you'd like, and take your scissors out again and just clean it up. Now it's nice and clean. Awesome! You have your positive and negative butterfly masterpiece completed. How does it look? I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed teaching it to you. Make sure to take a picture of your final work and upload it to Seesaw. Great job!